My capstone project is all about newsletters. I lead content development for a media group that's attached to a healthcare technology nonprofit. We've always had newsletters as a big part of our strategy, but these are our newsletters. They're good content, they're fine aesthetically, but they haven't really changed in the last 5 years. And that's a problem because today's landscape includes a lot more competition and a lot of new ideas in newsletters that we're just not taking advantage of. Ideas like personal connection. We have newsletters that incorporate memes. We have newsletters that are much more specialized, that have these strong visual identities. So my project was to look at what's out there and figure out how we can improve our newsletter offerings to bring it more into the 21st century and more strongly compete with the wide world of newsletters that's emerging. Breakthrough that I had came during one of our unconferences actually, and it came out of a conversation with Mary. What I realized is the divide between our kind of brand of legacy newsletter and these new, more personal newsletters that we're competing with is really around the question of what is a newsletter for. We've been focusing on click-through rates and thinking of newsletters as a conduit that takes the reader from their email inbox to our website, which is ultimately where we want them to be. But these newsletters that we're facing off against often aren't like that. They are the whole destination. The job that the newsletter is doing is not taking you somewhere else. It's just giving you the day's news update that you're after. So the question was, can we switch our strategy over, or should we, towards that destination idea? Now, originally I thought it was cut and dried. We would just abandon our old strategy, move into this new world. But as we started to look at it, there were a lot of reasons why it didn't make sense to do that. Some of the roundup link and headline newsletters are doing quite well. And there's a large percentage of our audience that still appreciates that style of newsletter. Plus, we still sell newsletter ads to some of these KPIs that make it make sense to focus on click-through and conversion. So instead, we decided to look at a hybrid strategy where we would keep the old newsletters doing what they're doing, but still look for ways to improve them. But really create a new class of destination newsletters and make sure that we didn't hold them to the standards of the old click-through newsletters, but really developed a unique strategy and KPIs around those. This program really prepared me for this project in a lot of ways. It taught me a lot of ideas and strategies about change management and making change, and about product development. The classes on product development were hugely helpful, about market research and being reader first, and using that jobs to be done framework to think about who your readers are and what they need. And then really to solicit their input too. So we've done a couple of surveys as a part of this project, a brand survey and another newsletter survey that I launched myself. The other thing that has come in hugely in handy is just the idea of stakeholder management and negotiation. There are so many people at my organization who have to be involved in anything that touches newsletters, from advertising to marketing to graphics to corporate, because of the branding. And it's, and that's not even to speak of my own supervisors and direct reports that really need to buy in to make this work. So there's been a lot of effort, and the class has really helped me to prepare for those conversations. But more broadly, a lot of what we've discussed in class has been about the state of online journalism, where it needs to be, what it needs to do, where it's going. And I've really kept those ideas top of mind as I've thought about what our newsletter strategy looks like, what our overall strategy for profitability looks like. As a immediate group of a membership organization, we have kind of a unique role to play. We're not just about our bottom line, we're also about being instrumental to the nonprofit, in this case as sort of like a top of funnel acquisition vehicle for new members. And that really gives us a very specific mission with our newsletters, and gives us sort of permission to be a little more personable and approachable, and create those really sticky newsletter experiences in the hopes that then those people will stick around and become members of HIMSS. So all of that has gone into how I've thought about this project, and I think a lot of these lessons will stick with me in future endeavors at HIMSS Media as well.